Okay, we did the ascendant. Okay, if we look at the 12th house, which really is where we're projecting and we don't know where we are, it's considered the house of isolation or confinement or hidden enemies or limitations. Things don't tend to work so easily in the 12th house. I see it as our tendency to, when we don't know, it's hard to be smiling into the unknown or projecting, saying hi to someone we don't know. You know, but if you frown and you're mean, you're going to put out mean things, you'll get mean friends, and you'll get difficult jobs. If you project nice and you're kind and you're compassionate, you get better friends and better positions. So the 12th house is the shadow of your personality, of what you put out. The first house is the intensity of it building up, that I have to express myself. It's beginning to affect others. So you begin to project out of the ascendant, it's affecting others in the 12th. But the Leo in the 12th house ties into his sun. So he wants to be proud about what his sun is in the 10th house accomplishment. I'm going to take care of things. I'm going to take care of every little difficulty. I'm not going to let any difficulty come in. So when it comes to matters of his heart, the Leo, or his kids, the Leo, in the 12th house, he's going to be working extra hard to make sure they've got what they need. And he'll be very guilty if something doesn't happen right. There's no planets in this. It's not a highly activated house. It's not the place that's way up on, but it's the ruler that's in the sun in the 10th house. Not a problem. He'll take care of the problems that come up. But there still might be, he's going to want his kids to be the best kids in the world as they possibly could be. And there's still, it's partly in 11th house, so he wants to be friends with his kids. But really, the 12th house thing is there's a need to be concerned that they get the right education, that there's a noble examples being set for them. And if they're not, it's going to have a direct effect on the kids that he won't be content with. So he's not going to let that happen. He wouldn't let that happen. But he has to do extra work to make sure the kids are okay. In fact, that's the glue that kind of holds the whole chart together. You have things you do for kids you would never do if you weren't married and had kids. But then when you meet someone that hasn't had any kids, you see the difference right away because they're just trying to be the kid. Anyways, that's not a the 11th house cusp of friends. Cancer's there. It's ruled by the moon. Wow. So he needs to have friends. He wants to collect his friends, but the friends are going to be kind of homey or Cancer-like or moody-like. They're going to be secure. The guy feels secure around it. But his moon that rules this is in the 7th house, caught with all the stress factors. So he's trying to do everything for the wife or for the partner or for the relationship or for the family. And he's going to run across more family friends than not. How much time would he get to have friends outside of the home? Not too much. But there's a need to have friends outside of him. What kind of friends? Friends that support what you're doing. You know, but because his sun is really prominent and he's a proud person, his friends will usually be people he knows from work or people who know they can come to him and get things done or get benefits. You know, so for him to have creative friends, to have friends he can learn with or study with, learn things with, that would be a great thing. But this is being friends with the kids and doing things with the kids. But ruled by the family, there's demands on family and home that limit or challenge who his friends are, have an effect on that. Doesn't mean there's not friends, it just means if you don't bring them home and meet them at home, when are you going to have time to meet them and do things with them? Like it's a puzzle. I wouldn't say too much more from that, but that's making the association of the 11th house cusp to the Cancer and to the moon and where it is. So he'll meet impulsive friends. He'll know a lot of people, but Mercury and Gemini, that's going to know a lot of people. But how many people get close? That's a more difficult challenge. Just not because of the Astra, not because the Cancer there ruled by the moon, and the moon is challenged. So it's important for him to live right and to live truthfully. So this is a power struggle on a spiritual level. This is a great for studying astrology, for learning inner things, learning what's real and what's bullshit. This is really his T-square, the moon, Pluto, Mercury is really a strong, smart aspect. It's a really positive plus. On a family level, it's demanding and challenging, but that challenge fires his intelligence. That fired intelligence inspires him to understand it. which makes him grow spiritually and in a more philosophical or understanding way, which motivates him deeply and keeps him going. When you look at the understanding, we pretty well did it because Venus was in Taurus. We talked about the Taurus rules the 9th house, and Venus is in the house it rules, and in the sign it rules. So Venus, and what he wants is very predominant factor. It's high in the chart. Mercury's in the sign it rules, but Venus is in the sign it rules, and is in the sign it rules. So they're all in the sign it rules as well. So like it's elevated. The Venus is strong. We have to live this. We have to have that. We can't put what I love and what I hate is very strongly there. I have to have this to have how complicated does it get? So the Venus dealing with the 9th house is your understanding, but it's also the philosophy and principle. You married someone with the same religion, you have the same philosophy, the same look. So there's inclined to have someone that has similar approaches to want similar things. And he's going to try and get the things he wants. And with the Taurus there, he's going to have a practical outlook. His outlook is going to be fairly practical. So even as a mystic, he can be very emotional and devotional, but he still have a practical side to it. Who's going to pay for the retreat? How am I going to do this? He want the appreciation from it. I mean, there's a strong social conscience and morality with this Venus up here in Taurus in the 9th house, but it's practical, it's earthy, it's opposed by Neptune, so if it gets too selfish, it'll get isolated and it'll cause all kinds of confusion. If it gets too frivolous and spending money too crazily, it'll cause all sorts of guilt and sorrows too. So there's a razor's edge of what's good, what's not, what's satisfying, what's not, what you really, how much do you have to be satisfied? And the philosophies around that, and having a good philosophy around what's right or what's wrong will guide his Venus in the 9th house. And the Taurus ruling that's the key, how he's doing that and how well he has his principles around what he wants, and how well his choices are about partners, about what's right or wrong with partners, but having a partner with similar beliefs or understanding that would make for a very good alignment that could allow for much more positive feedback. When you see the Aries on the 8th house cusp, we didn't talk about Saturn. His Saturn's in the 8th house, which means worry and serious commitments around shared resources. Difficulties through shared resources. So even inheritance, they wouldn't come easily. There'd be complicated, there'd be difficulties. If he's trying to get loans, they come difficult, don't come easily, and they're a big commitment. He doesn't have bad aspects, sextiles, and there's no opposition squares to the Saturn, but there's still this weight of responsibility of shared resources. We got to buy a home for the kids. Oh, geez, we got to work to pay for it. We got to take care of this. Oh, the kids got school. They're going to have to go to university. Oh my goodness, I got this. So it'll be easy to sell this guy insurance because of his security complex. But really, half of him's on this practical side. There's another half of him that's evaluating Venus. What's right, what's wrong, what's spiritual, what's not, what's tempting, what's grace, what's faith, what's truth. But the Aries on the 8th house, even though there's restrictions in it, it's ruled by Mars. And the Mars, normally we think it's going to be impulsive. He's going to impulsively spend the resources of the partner. Or the partner will spend the resources of his resource. He's working hard to get the result, the partner spends it. Or other social situations. Build up the moons in Aries too, but this Saturn Aries is, we've got to put the brakes. I can't pay more, I can't spend more, I can't take more, I can only do this. I'll be lucky if I can do that. But his Mars rules that's in the 3rd house, so he's thinking about how much he can do. But it's conjunct Neptune. Can I do this? I don't know if I can pay for this. I don't know if I can carry this. When will I ever pay this off? What can I do? So he has this guilt complex around how much he can do to pay for. Yet the Saturn is very cautious. You have to have this, you have to have that. So he's scrambling around to take care of these things. It's not wrong. It's not a good or bad. It's just his unique way of processing it, because if he couldn't pay it, that would be terrible. If he went in debt, oh, that would be worse. But there's going to be challenges around when money comes in, there'll always be commitments around it and time to pay it off. And in a relationship, which is the shared resources with Aries there's going to be perhaps impulsive arguments about how much money should go to kids, for what, for which, for when, how the energies of togetherness are going to be used after he's worked so hard to get them. there's still going to be challenges continuing to that. The Aries rulership, there are impulsive things coming in that he's trying to keep a lid on or minimize.